Bake that pie. Pull up my body and I bake that pie.
Hello and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. It's another Bristol Street Motors Trophy night tonight at Pride Park Stadium. Derby County taking on Bradford City with a place in the quarter-finals up for grabs. First, a quick reminder of how Derby got here. It's been pretty smooth sailing for the Rams, who finished top of their group with a 100% record thanks to a 2-0 win over Lincoln City, a 2-1 win at Notts County and a 4-1 win over Wolves under 21s that included a James Collins hat-trick. That set up a tie with Fleetwood, which the Rams came through with flying colours, Collins scoring twice in a 3-0 win there. It leaves Derby potentially just 3 games away from Wembley, but they know they'll have their work cut out tonight against Bradford City. Don't forget, it's a game you can watch on RamsTV worldwide, including here in the UK. So get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. We've been talking to Rams assistant boss Richie Barker ahead of this one, and reflecting first on Saturday's win at Fleetwood, which was comfortable enough in the end.
In the end, yeah. And it was tricky for many reasons. One, a new manager. That's never a good sign when you play against a team when it's the manager's first game back at home. So you always get a lift. You know, there's always a bounce from the fans and the players. So that's always a tricky part. You have to negate that in the first 10 or 15 minutes of that first bit of enthusiasm. You know, the early kick-off on TV, all the other bits and bobs that go with it, and just a difficult place to go. So we got through that first 10 or 15 minutes. I thought we were relatively comfortable for the next half an hour. Started the second half reasonably well, but then maybe slightly overcomplicated it, and for 20 minutes caused a few problems for ourselves. But then in terms of reaction, to go back down the other end and score, and like you say, see the game out pretty well. And at the end of the day, it's a 3 points that means no more or no less than the other 3 points that we've got. But any win away from home, 3 goals is satisfying.
Your away form has been fantastic, best in the division. What's been behind that?
I think a big part of it is trying to get over to people about winning in different ways. You know, if you look at the last few games, you've got Port Vale, Leyton Orient clean sheets. You've got Oxford coming from 2-0 down in a really difficult start. You've got the Fleetwood game where we had to see the game out and weather the storm for 20 minutes, change shape. And I think we say this all the time about, you know, the lads laugh, but to be successful, you have to win games in different ways. And I think to just assume that you can go to Oxford, Port Vale, Fleetwood, play the same way and assume that it will all be okay, you can't. So I think one of the things that we've tried to reiterate to the players is that when you go away from home, it takes different skills, different mindsets, different formations, different players, and winning away from home is not easy in any level.
Bit of a change of focus for you on Tuesday night with the EFL Trophy, Bradford visiting Pride Park Stadium. Do you need a different mentality for knockout football?
I mean, at the moment, the mentality is about winning every game. We want to win every game. We've in the sort of relatively decent run that we've been on for the last couple of months. There's been a couple of cup games in that. Obviously, you've got to win the game because there's no extra time. You know, a draw's pointless to a certain extent. Obviously, it goes to penalties, which becomes a lottery. So, but in fairness, it's not a lot different to every game. You know, I know the manager talks all the time. We never go out and try and draw a game. We never go out and go, look, if we can just stay in a game, we go out and try and win every game. And tomorrow night's game will be no different. So, realistically, I think like the last couple of games that we've played in this competition, Lincoln and Fleetwood, I think obviously were League One teams, and we sort of reiterated, look, you're playing against League One teams, so we treat it as a League One game. But in fairness to Bradford City, we will be treating them with the same mindset as we would if we were playing, Cheltenham or Port Vale or whoever it would be tomorrow. So the lads are in a pretty good place, and we want to try and keep winning, because winning's a good habit to be in.
And of course, I don't like to bring it up, but you have lost at home to a League Two club already this season in a cup competition. Will you point to that as just a reminder to the guys?
Yeah, absolutely, because that game started reasonably well with a goal, I think after 3 or 4 minutes or whatever it is, and then obviously it didn't go our way, and we struggled to get back in the game. And it wasn't due to a lack of respect that we paid to Crewe, because they were excellent that night, and in fairness had obviously given us a tough game the week before. So it weren't through a lack of respect, and this one won't be through a lack of respect either. But we're well aware that one of the very few games that we've lost over the last 2 or 3 months was to a League Two team at home, and we're hoping that won't happen again.
More from Richie Barker tonight in Matchday Live from RamsTV. Available from the earlier time of 6:30. Don't forget you can watch the game worldwide, including in the UK. Get your Game Pass now for that at dcfc.co.uk. Well, like Derby, tonight's opponents Bradford have won all 4 of their EFL Trophy fixtures so far this season. But it's not been quite as straightforward in the league, and they arrive at Pride Park tonight on the back of a defeat. That came on Saturday at home to Crawley, where they conceded twice in stoppage time to lose 4-2. That leaves Bradford without a win in their last 4 games and 14th in League Two. But the trophy has been good to them this season. They beat Grimsby, Manchester City's under-21s and Barnsley in the group stage before thrashing Liverpool's academy in the last round. They also have the competition's top scorer. Tyler Smith has scored 6 goals so far, and he scored in every single game. So that's who Derby are up against tonight. But they will be the favourites this evening, no doubt about that. 9 wins from their last 11 games in the league for the Rams. They've only lost twice in their last 15 in all competitions. That run stretching back a good couple of months now. Tom Barcase gone off the mark for the season in this competition here against Lincoln back in September. He got his 5th of the campaign at Fleetwood at the weekend.
Yeah, I think we showed a great reaction. Probably showed the form that we were, the run we were on before the Peterborough game. We kind of just fell straight back into that, to be honest. Dominated large parts of the game, and came away with 3-1.
And for you, nice to contribute with a goal, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course, it's always nice to get goals and help the team win. And I think at 2-1, you're always a little bit edgy and a little bit nervy, and especially when they've got Jaden up front who can head the ball from anywhere, as we saw. So I think that kind of just sealed it, and happy to come on and make a difference. Is
there a feeling in the group that whether you're starting games or whether you're coming on in games, everyone is a big part of this journey?
Yeah, I think whether you're starting or on the bench, you kind of look around on the bench and you know if things aren't quite going to plan, or if lads tire and things like that. It's pretty much like for like for quality coming off. We've now got quite a few boys back from injury, and we've got a couple more coming as well. So as a squad in general, I think we've got one of the strongest squads in the league, and that's why we're up there.
You're in form. Things have tightened up an awful lot in that promotion race. How do you feel about where you are sitting at the moment?
Pretty comfortable, I think. We've thrown away quite a few points. I think if we're honest with ourselves, the Wickham game, even the Peterborough game, 2-1 up in the 84th minute, you don't really expect to lose. But, we had a tricky start to the season, so I'd say, everyone knows over the last 11 games we've been pretty consistent. But I think, probably after about the 4th or 5th game, we've been sailing along pretty well, and we just need to continue that. It's good to be in and around it at this point. You don't win the league in January, but you can definitely lose it. So we just need to keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully we can make our way up there.
And what about for you? Because you had some injury issues toward the start of the season, but just quietly, things have started to tick over quite nicely for you.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Pre-season, it was tough. It was, tough mentally. I worked hard in the off-season to make sure that I was fit coming back, because I didn't play as much as I wanted to at the back end of last season. So yeah, that was difficult, and I knew I had to find my way back in, and the squad was getting stronger and bigger. But you know, I think I had a couple of sub appearances and came on and did pretty well, and then since then I think I've been in pretty decent form in general. I probably my longest run in the starting 11 recently, which is obviously good for me and shows that I'm doing the right things, and yeah, I hope I can keep contributing.
So a good win on Saturday, and then Tuesday night it's the Bristol Street Motors Trophy knockout round. Is knockout football different? Does it feel different for you?
A game's a game. You know, I won't lose any sleep tonight over it being a knockout game. I don't think many people will. We just want to win, whether it's a knockout game or whether it's a league game. We don't go into any game thinking, you know, oh, we've got 20 more games in the league. It doesn't really matter. Every game we want to win. I think we've got a good group full of winners who, you know, really emphasise how important it is to get runs going, and I don't think you win 9 out of 11 if you haven't got that mentality. So you know, whether it's a group stage game, you know, we went and won all 3 group stage games pretty comfortably. You know, I think it's just a case of just keep going and keep winning games.
That's Tom Barkhuizen, and that's all from the preview show. Join me, Bradley Johnson and Sean Barker for Matchday Live from RamsTV tonight, with you from the earlier time of 6:30. It's the only place to watch Derby County take on Bradford City for a place in the last 8 of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. And the game's available worldwide, including in the UK, so get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. Goodbye.